Okay, guys, welcome back to the Smash Jump podcast. I'm very pleased to be joined by pixel artist and animator at Yacht Club Games, who've just released their latest smash hit, 8-bit adventure title, Mina the Hollower. Sandy, how you doing?
Great, Scott. Happy to be here. Thanks for having us on, and for having me on, and for the review of the game. It was a joy to read, so really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for reading it. Um, I realize I don't actually know that much about game development cycles. It's not like you guys get the week off as soon as the game releases, is it?
No, definitely not. Yeah, so I would say the game was pretty much done 3 to 4 weeks before we launched it. Uh, I mean, barring programmers doing bug fixing and all that kind of thing, but yeah, the majority of us, I mean, we're a small team, 10 to 12 people right now, and we were all kind of hands on deck doing marketing, promo stuff, cutting video together and answering emails and play testing, just tons of play testing. We've all put hundreds of hours into the game. So yeah, I mean, we're still kind of in that mode right now. In 2.5 weeks after launch, it's just nonstop, sort of marketing mode and trying to get the word out, spread the good word of Mina as far and wide as we can.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been. I mean, first of all, I mean, I saw a few days ago it's reached 500,000 copies. I mean, how does that
Yeah,
feel to for a game with a very kind of specific visual style that is the perhaps not designed to grab the broadest audience? The fact that
mhm.
it's sold 500,000 copies. How's everyone feeling at Yacht Club?
Yeah, I mean, it was we hit 500K after the first week, um, which I mean felt amazing. Obviously, extremely validating. Like you said, there are some niche elements to what we do at Yacht Club. Shovel Knight as well. Despite Shovel Knight reached a pretty broad audience. We sold over 3 million copies over its lifetime so far. So, yeah, I mean, Mina's kind of in the same boat where we're making a retro inspired game, but it plays like a modern game, and our intent is to try and reach, cast as wide a net and reach as broad an audience as possible. Hopefully, introduce a lot of people who don't play old school games or didn't necessarily grow up playing the same games that we did to a whole catalog of new things. Like, if somebody plays Mina and enjoys it, and then reads an article saying it was inspired by Castlevania and Zelda games of old, and they say, well, I want to go play those games now. I'm curious to see what inspired Mina and how we did our own take on the game design principles that we drew from. That really excites us. I mean, we want to make people love games just in general as a medium, as an art form, and so any way we can do that, kind of impart what makes those games so fun and interesting to us and so memorable and nostalgic to us is something that we aim to do. And yeah, again, it's very validating that so far people seem to have picked up what we're putting down with Mina.
That's great. I mean, you already referenced it, and if anyone's a fan of your studio, they obviously know all about Shovel Knight. As you said, 3 million copies sold at this point in time. You have such a long. I know you guys have published some other games, but broadly speaking, your development has been focused on Shovel Knight. And after such a long period of doing that, what made you guys want to try something new, and what did that process look like?
It's a funny question because interestingly, uh, Shovel Knight came out in 2014. The first, Shovel of Hope, the original game in the Treasure Trove catalog. And so it's been 12 years that the company's existed, 12 years since Shovel Knight. Mina's development took 6 years. So half of the life cycle has actually been on Mina. So it's funny that it felt like we had been working on Shovel Knight for so long. 6 years is, it's a long time to be on any project, any IP. And as much as we love Shovel Knight, after that 6 years, we had kind of exhausted ourselves having made 5 games in the Treasure Trove, suite of games. There are 4 main campaigns and then Shovel Knight Showdown, which is like a co-op brawler that we did, as well as multiple spin-off games with other, co-developed with other companies like Shovel Knight Dig, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. So it's a lot. It's a lot of Shovel Knight, and at that point we were just like, we were ready to move on, ready to do something new. We don't want to be a one-trick pony. We wanted our fans to realize that we have more up our sleeves, and want to tackle other genres, and just keep the creative juices flowing, so to speak. Um, but yeah, when you asked that question, it dawned on me that half of the company's life has actually been on Mina as well. So, you can imagine that we're also pretty, for as excited as we are about Mina, we're also excited to be done with it, and that it's kind of out in the wild and in everyone else's hands. And now you all can enjoy playing the game and experiencing the adventure. We've done all we could. We've squeezed every last drop of creativity and I guess just blood, sweat, and pixels into this little 8-bit adventure.
Yeah, I mean, and if you were looking to announce that you can do something different, I think Mina is possibly the best way you could have done that. I mean, I've seen like Double Fine Studios with Tim Fine doing similar stuff, but like, is it true that Mina started out just as a small personal side project with one of your colleagues, Alec Faulkner, and it went onto a Kickstarter?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and in 2020, we all came back from a bit of a break after launching King of Cards and Shovel Knight Showdown, and we were talking about what our next project was going to be. And Alec had been working on a prototype, just kind of on his own in his own time, uh, for about a year, and he brought it to the team, pitched it. We all immediately loved the idea. Uh, it suited the sensibilities for game design and intentionality and gameplay that we all sort of already held or hold as a company. And so yeah, I mean that's how that started. The original demo, excuse me, the original demo plays very similarly to how Mina does at her core currently. Even she had her whip. That was the only weapon in the demo, but she had a whip, just like Castlevania. She had her
Mm,
burrow for dodging and area traversal. It was a top-down Game Boy Color sort of adventure with the Rock's Feather from Link's Awakening, little platforming jump.
yeah.
So yeah, it was a pretty fully formed idea, and we just took it and ran with it. I mean, it was we rebuilt it from the ground up. We expanded on the mechanics and added a whole lot of lore and world building, obviously, to what was just an idea at the time. But yeah, that's basically how it started.
No, that's great, and that's fun to hear. The whip was my main. I wasn't the I wasn't the I would say I wasn't the best at the game, so that little bit of extra distance definitely helped me out. I wanted to get into your kind of specific role in bringing this game to life. So you are a pixel artist.
Mhm.
Do you feel like just explaining like just very basically what your job is?
Oh, sure. Well, so at Yacht Club, I'm pixel artist animator. I do, other things too, like business development outreach and some social media stuff here and there. As I said, we're a small team, so we kind of wear a lot of hats each. But yeah, I was hired on for that. I was hired on in 2017 to work on art for King of Cards and Showdown as we were trying to get those out the door. Um, and on Mina, I was operating as the lead pixel artist, uh, basically in charge of kind of developing the overall aesthetic for the game, and creating a majority of the like tile sets, animations, and sprites. We had split Yacht Club had split the team into two development groups back when Mina's development started. So it was Alec, it was me, and we had a programmer who's no longer with us at the time. And then the rest of the team was working on a 3D project that we haven't really talked much about yet, but that's also still in development. So yeah, it was an interesting time internally in the company. Um, but that's been my role. I've been on Mina since day one.
No, that's great to hear. I mean, and just jumping off of that, I just kind of get into the weeds on this game, specifically kind of your more visual role in it. So Shovel Knight is very much kind of semi-inspired by Mega Man and its likes, kind of side-scrolling adventure. How does your job shift? How does your job change just with that very simple perspective shift from side-scrolling to kind of isometric top-down? How does your job change when that perspective changes?
Sure. Well, it changes in that the way that I'm thinking and the things I'm thinking about shift along with the perspective. There are a lot of readability concerns and questions that come up when you're doing something in a top-down perspective, especially in 2D. You don't have in a game like Mina, she has a jump, but there's no real z-axis, right? It's all fake. You can there's really just an x and a y. So how do we create art that simulates or gives you the illusion of depth? And so as you play through the game, you'll see there are a lot of bridges, there are multi level platforms and cliff sides and things like that, places that you see that you can obviously get to, um, but they're technically all in the same plane, even though in game space they're maybe above or below wherever Mina is at the time. So finding a way to make those distinctions clear, finding a way to make sure that you understand when an enemy's flying above you as opposed to coming at you at the same depth. All those stuff were all of that was a new struggle for us with Mina. And incidentally, there aren't a whole lot of top-down 2D games for that reason. So we didn't have a whole lot of reference to draw from, like we did with Shovel Knight in terms of 2D platformers.
Just a couple of perfunctory questions. Because I have seen some, I wouldn't say rumblings, they're not rumors, it's more like a wish list from the fans.
Okay.
Perhaps seeing like in the same way Shovel Knight did different campaigns, like maybe seeing a Thorn campaign at some point, or some kind of DLC or a sequel. Do you guys have any plans in the future to continue the Mina franchise, as it were?
Uh, Plans to continue to be in a franchise? Absolutely. I mean, I would say this is just the beginning for Mina. Um, Plans for DLC? No, not at the moment. And that's strictly because we put all of our best ideas into this
Yeah,
base game. There's just so much content. Even after roll credits, you can get 100%. There are a ton of achievements you can aim for that sort of. Force you to change up your play style and the way that you're interacting with things in the world. Like adding weird modifiers and things like that to shake things up. New Game Plus has 7 playthrough modes, all of which drastically change the way you engage with the world. From mirror mode that flips the entire map horizontally, which is way more disorienting than it might sound on the surface. It's
yeah.
actually it feels like a completely new game.
I didn't know that. I didn't
There's a
know about that.
randomizer.
Yeah, I didn't know about that mirror one
Yeah,
actually. That's given me the fear a little bit. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
I
there's a
think.
lot.
Yeah, I think I'll take a break before doing a second. Before doing a second playthrough where everything's. Oh God. Um, as you said, you guys at Yacht Club, you guys started out as a very small team when you released the first Shovel Knight. I mean, you're still broadly have quite a small team.
Yeah.
Would you have any advice for kind of aspiring solo developers or small studios trying to get out their first game? Would you have any advice for them on how to accomplish that?
I would say start small. Um, this is pretty commonly tread advice, but don't make your most epic dream game as your first game. Start small, make something that feels attainable, keep the scope as low as possible, like minimum viable product sort of thing, and then expand from there if you feel like you have the resources and the time to do that. But yeah, just get something out the door. Finishing it's the hardest part.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Sandy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We're a small outlet. Any interviews we can get like this are much appreciated. So, and thank you to you and the guys at Yacht Club Games for creating such an incredible experience.
Thanks, Scott. No, I appreciate that, and thanks for taking the time to talk.
Yeah, no worries. That was Sandy Gordon, pixel artist and animator at Yacht Club Games. We at Smash Jump gave Mina the Hollower a 9 out of 10. And if you want any more news, reviews, and previews of the gaming industry, you can stay right here at smashjump.com.